Hi guys, now this video is about the real reason why I started this channel, and it's to share my story about liver disease and how I've managed to grow up and manage my condition and things I've been through, to see if it helps anyone in the same situation. This story is chapter 2 of my story. It's about the third and fourth transplant, and I've called this a troubled childhood. This is as I'm growing up. So my earliest memories as a child, was knowing my mum telling me that I was not well, and then saying my liver's not well, and that I have to take this medication that mum gives me every morning and evening, to stay well and stay alive. Um, so growing up, knowing that from the beginning, you think that's normal. Obviously, when you go to primary school and you see other kids that are not need that, you then see it's not normal, but you think it's normal for your life. So by the age of 10, which was 2005, I remember, hospital visits became more frequent, and blood tests and more tests become frequent because the liver started to, which they feared halfway through its 10-year period that it would fail, was starting to lose supply as it was growing older. And then as it got towards 2006, the artery was thrombosing and cutting off the lack of causing a lack of supply to the liver in terms of oxygen. And obviously, it's like with the human breathing. If you don't have oxygen, you can't breathe, and you die. So that's what was happening to the liver, and this was again what happened in 1996. So it's happened again, thrombosis. We I was admitted in January and put to the top of the A plus blood group donor list, as well as O plus, to try and find a liver. Um, from January to February, I gradually deteriorated, as you went through all the stages of liver failure, which is where bilirubin and all these toxins that the liver gets rid of gets flown into your system, which is why you turn yellow, in your eyes, in your face, in your hands. My lips started going purple. We used to admit that I was creating a new colour for L'Oreal, and but most of the time you wouldn't eat, you wouldn't drink, you'd just sleep, and that's all I was doing at that time as a 10-year-old. And I knew what was happening to me. I didn't. The doctors didn't lie to me. They told me from the beginning of when I was admitted what was happening and what was going to happen if I didn't get a liver, and you had to accept that. At 11 years old, I had to accept that if I wasn't going to get a liver, I was going to die. So um, yeah, the treatments, I'd keep throwing up. I'd throw up my tube. I'd have to put a new one up my nose, and it it still traumatizes me today. What I went through. Liver failure, one of my worst enemies. It's horrible. It is horrible. It's like the bile that goes through your system is like, I described it at one time like a gremlin in your brain, telling you just to give up, just curl away, hide away, and give in, and die. Just don't stop fighting it, and you have to keep fighting because you never know what the next day will bring. You never know when you'll get a liver. Um, so we got to about the night before the op, and then my coordinator gave me the joyous news that we had a liver. The saddest part is that my mum knew their mum, because the kitchen used to be shared by both ITU and the ward at the time, and she met her mum in ITU, so we knew who it was when we got brief details, and they knew who it was when they got brief details of me. Um, so my mum had just gone home with my sister and my auntie. As soon as I walked through the door about to order a pizza, they got a call saying they got to come all the way back again. Um, and that was me on the phone saying, "Mum, we've got a liver." And everyone was happy. What I didn't know is that I was so ill, the level of bile, if it gets to 1,000, you start at the risk of brain damage. And I told my mum, if I get brain damage out of this, give up. If I get no quality of life afterwards, don't, don't let me have it. Let me go. Um, which was tough a decision to make at that age, but that's what I wanted. And um, my mum understood that. So what I didn't know at the time is that um, I was probably going to have to say goodbye to my family that weekend because I was so ill. I was 978 in bilirubin level to when it's supposed to be 20 max, and level of danger level was 1,000, and it was getting so bad that I wasn't even going to get that weekend. That's probably Saturday, Sunday morning. I'd have to say goodbye to my family, um, as I'll go into induced coma to try and clear the toxins out of my system to give me a bit more time. So yeah, um, this transplant was a success. I was discharged just after April. Everything was good. So far, so good. And then a few months later, as we get towards September, I noticed the albumin started to drop to very low levels. We moved on 2 years after the transplant in 2008. Obviously, now I'm at high school because at the transplant time I was missing half of year 6, sorry, and yet I still managed to get all fours of my stats, which was really good. So once a week we were having to go for albumin infusions whilst I was at school. My mum would be at the same school as well, so we'd do a blood test in the morning. My mum would get a phone call during the day saying that the level's this and that we need to go down, and she'd drag me out of lesson to go and do it. And yeah, we started just accepting that was the norm for the minute, but we need to find out what's wrong. They believed it was some sort of weird genetic disease called lymphomatosia, where I'd lose albumin for the gut. Now, part of that was true, because I was losing albumin for the gut, but it wasn't lymphomatosia. It never was that at all. So we got to 2010, and after those misdiagnosis, the blood infusions became from once a week to um, every other day. I mean, you're only supposed to have it twice in a week. I was having it every other day. This was after having bowel surgery to remove part of my bowel because there were so many holes in the gut to try and stop the albumin leaking through so many holes. But we moved part of that, which was 25 centimeters away, and it still didn't work. So we came to year 11 the year after, and I couldn't do year 11 because I was too ill. 2010 to 2011, I'd spent half a day in year 11, and then the rest of the time they said just stay out at home because even by the time I got dressed, I was out for the count. Because if you don't have albumin in your system, albumin's the protein. If people don't know what the white is around the egg, that's albumin. It's also albumin in the yolk, but around the edge is albumin. That's why it looks this really weird, clear, transparent colour. And um, so basically, I was losing that every other day. And we, yeah, so I even tried eating so many eggs and it still didn't work. And yeah, by 2011, I couldn't go back to high school because the albumin wouldn't. I couldn't absorb anything. If you've got no albumin there, you can't absorb proteins, nutrients, every other level that would be the norm would then start dropping because you just can't absorb it. I was having feed through my veins, through a Hitman line, and or portacath, sorry, that I had put in, which is like a access port in the main vein for about, and it can last up to 10 years. It's just under the skin. It's absolutely revolutionary piece of kit. Stops you getting cannulated every time. And I was having, yeah, so I was staying at home having this, and then I'd fill up my face because the feed that I was having, I couldn't absorb it, so it just feed up all around me. So one time we had to have a medical bed put in, which is here, because I was lying flat and all the fluid went to the centre of gravity, which was in my face, to the point where I couldn't even open my right eye. My right eye was like this, so I couldn't even open it. So obviously this ain't normal. So we had to be home tutored, given three subjects: English, maths, and history. But because I was having no nutrients, no proteins, or anything like that absorbed, I was so tired and lethargic and frustrated because I couldn't concentrate. I The information would go one ear and out the other. I just couldn't concentrate, and I was nowhere going to be able to do my exams. Absolutely no way. So, 4th of April, but by end of 2010, we realised that we're going to do an operation in April to reconstruct the IVC because we realised actually we found out what's the problem. Because during the bowel surgery, my professor Nigel Heaton, he found that there was surface albumin coming off the surface of the liver, and the IVC looked blocked. Not the hepatic vein, which they usually scan, which was fine underneath, but the actual vein itself to the main, which is the main vein to the heart, was actually blocked. So we needed to fix that. So you reconstruct the vein to open it up. So we either try that, or if not, we go for transplant with an IVC that's connected to it. So we, and this was, they told me this after the medical side had told me we've got no hope, which sent it everywhere. We've got no other ideas. We're waiting on Nigel, but apart from that, we've got no hope. This is you for the rest of your life. And I said, if this is going to be for me for the rest of my life, give me a gun. Give me a gun. Put a gun to my head. Or jump me off a cliff. Because it's not worth it. I've got no quality of life. It's not worth it. Just to sit at home and waste away and gradually die because you've got no nutrients or proteins. No, it's not worth it. So it's which was hard to say to people that have tried to keep you alive for so long, but they understood why I was saying it. So, but we were promised these two operations and put all our hope into this because there's no other options available. The reconstructive vein that went drastically wrong. The details we could go on forever because this 1 month stay in hospital turned out to be 9 months in hospital. And I'd spent time with fluid leaking. I'd had 7 drains at one point because the fluid would leak about 12 litres a day I was losing in fluid. the fluid then would then, because of a pierced hole in the what is the protection sac around the heart, which is called the pericardium. The That was a little hole in that, cutting that, so we had to. The fluid was going up into here and then putting pressure on my heart, so we had to cut two holes in the pericardium, which are now fixed anyway, to release it into the drainage areas where we can drain it off, to stop my heart, stop any cardiac arrest. Yeah, so this meant that I had a drain that left me stuck in ITU for 3-4 months, and then spent another 5 months trying to get over the surgery because the muscles to the in the core, in your core, your stomach core, weren't attached because it took 3 weeks just to close where they've operated, because they couldn't close it. There was so much scar tissue and so much rubbish and fluid. They couldn't close it, so they left me with a bag over the top of it for 3 weeks. So naturally, instead of being scared, me being me, I'd grab a phone and give it to mum and say, "Take a picture, see if I can see my liver, see if I can see my liver." Uh, so yeah, it just all went wrong, and we all realised by the end of it I needed a transplant. And I knew at the time they were going to tell me, because for the one time the professor came in, or the doctor came, and the medical professor on the medical side came in. He said, "How you doing? Like, how's the Formula One? How's the football?" And I'm like, "You've never asked me about Formula One or football at all. What's wrong?" And then he took my mum away, and then mum went away and told me the news. So I said to him, next time, just be upfront, just say it. So, so I'd rather be told what's going on, otherwise I get panicked. So yeah, I then get out, officially discharged on the 3rd of February 2012 after being inside from the 4th of April 2011. So I was only in there for a whole year. So despite going to British Grand Prix in 2012, despite meeting Lewis Hamilton, which was a wish that I was granted, I was still having infusions twice a day at home. Feed meant I couldn't absorb anything, so levels continued to drop to the point that when I got to 2013, I couldn't even get out of hospital because I'd have albumin, then I'd have hemoglobins overnight, or I'd have calcium during the day, then magnesium, then potassium. All these infusions left me no chance of getting the feed in, so they just gave up on the feed and just gave me all the nutrients to try and keep me okay. So this happened for about 6 weeks in hospital, to the point where I was getting fed up with Kings screwing me around, and so was the doctor. So he said, "I'm going to speak to Kings." This is after he saw me breaking down in front of a nurse specialist, and he said, "I'm calling Kings. You're going there, whether you like it or not." So they just dragged me into Kings, put me on the adult ward, which was the first time I've ever been on the ward. And I just said, "Don't try anything else, just find me a damn liver now." So, and within the week, they found me a liver. Within the week. And the 20th of March 13, I had the 4th transplant. Made me walk to the theatre, which I thought was an outrage. I thought I should get the luxury of getting the bed driven. But I walked down the theatre because it was literally just outside the ward. And me being me, I'd always have a laugh about it. It's the first time I'd see the theatre actually, so I'd have a laugh, I'd have a joke, I'd be saying, because I didn't want to worry my mum or my sister or my dad. So I'd joke around saying, like, it's another day in the office, I'm used to this now. I take the mick out the doctors. I think half the time they were like, "Get the anaesthetic in him," like, he's winding us up. So, um, so yeah, I just have a laugh, and it was my way of coping with it. So, until the anaesthetic kicked in. Even when the anaesthetic was kicking in, I better can count to 100 before um, I go to sleep. And they'd always say, yeah, try it. So 1, 2, skip a few, 99, 100. And before they say anything, I'm gone. So, yeah, the transplant was a huge success. So successful, I was out in 15 days, which was a record for me. Right, I was that quick out of hospital. It was unbelievable. Um, and this donor was brilliant because I got next year sort of my GCSEs out in Maths and English, um, and managed to get to college the next year. Finished my in 2016. We finished and got my business course. I got a triple distinction stars, and then was planning to go to uni. This is all going to be what's going to happen afterwards is all part of the next chapter, and you'll find out. So obviously, having all this trauma and then having all the adrenaline going through you to cope with all this, when you come out, you finally then realise what you've just been through, all of it, from literally from born to 2013, has been non-stop. So you then realise when you got a break, like, oh my god, and then the adrenaline comes down, and then I started having nightmares. I started having flashbacks, and the psychologist diagnosed me with PTSD. Like soldiers that would come back from the war, it was like the same with me because of the trauma I've had, especially when I was 11, having to cope with the fact that I might die at the age of 11, and having experienced all that liver failure and how ill I was. I'd have nightmares going back to that situation. And even now, to this day, I still, after treatment, have nightmares and flashbacks to the time I've had, the recent time I've had, and the 2011 time I had. And yeah, it still affects me now. No kid deserves any transplant. There's kids there now. That ward's always full in a children's ward, and it's always full of same 6-week-old kids doing the same thing I did back in '94. And this is why I raise awareness for them, because the media don't want to, so you might as well try yourself. And this is why I'm doing this, because no kid should have to live with liver disease. No kid should be limited by their liver disease. No kid should have to even then grow up and then have them to justify themselves because the public doesn't know anything other than about the liver other than drinking. So it's, yeah, it is what it is. I have my days, I have my low days, but hey, I'm grateful that I'm still alive, and I still can't believe to this day how I've done it. People ask me how did you do it, and I say I haven't got a clue. I have no answers. So if you ask me that in the comments below, please. I'm sorry, I have no answers for you. So yeah, leave a like, a comment in the comments below. Any questions, feel free to answer. I'll get back to you as soon as I can and answer them for you. I'll thank you for listening and watching, and I will be back with chapter 3, the 5th and the 6th transplant, and the aftermath of all this. So yeah, thanks for listening and watching. Leave a like, comment, subscribe if you're new, and I'll speak to you guys soon.